First of all, we have a meeting in Zoom. This meeting is, as you maybe just now heard, is recorded. We have simultaneous translations into 3 languages: English, French, Spanish. So you may feel free to speak and to write in 3 languages. In order to avoid too much traffic jam and also not to overcharge the presentation, please switch off your microphones and videos, because this system is limited and we don't want to overcharge it. So please switch off your microphones and your videos, and only those who speak can switch on the microphone. I think this is quite important because we may have up to 500 participants, and then the system becomes a little bit tricky. There's also, among you, the participants, is also a webcast, so where all other participants can follow. We will, of course, having a presentation. You saw the agenda. And we have at the end a question and answer session. So I'm also really looking forward of a very active meeting, not just listening, but also actively participating. So very briefly, let me introduce myself. I am Miguel Clusener-Godt. I'm the director of the Division of Ecological and Earth Sciences of UNESCO and the secretary of the Man on the Biosphere program, the MAB program. So I'm very honored and proud to have this position and to work here with all of you and to really launch this session of mobilization of the MAB community. You know that this year we have, and you saw it also in all the agenda, we have the 50th anniversary. This program started in 1971 and as one of the major lead programs in those times. And the program has never been so important as today. So without taking too much time now, I would write, we have 1.5 hours in front of us. I would like really go immediately into the session by having some welcoming remarks of the Director General of UNESCO, Madam Audrey Azoulay, please. Thank you.
Ignore that the health of humanity depends on the health of the planet. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown our interdependence and the dramatic consequences of the breaking with nature and the living world. That is why today, more than ever, we must once again learn how to inhabit the earth together, to invent a different relationship, not based on domination or exploitation, but on complementarity and respect. UNESCO has been inventing and implementing this relationship since 1971 with its Man and the Biosphere program. It's a program which has laid the scientific foundations for a new harmony between humans and their environment, one that reconciles conservation and development and teaches us how to live with the living world, in the living world, rather than at its expense. 50 years later, 260 million people in 129 countries live in our 714 biosphere reserves in an area equivalent to 5% of the Earth's land mass. Mesdames et messieurs, aujourd'hui, nous célébrons ensemble 50 ans d'efforts et l'engagement de milliers de femmes et d'hommes qui constituent, avec la jeunesse, la sève de notre programme. En un demi-siècle, ils ont amassé une quantité impressionnante de connaissances, d'expériences qu'il nous revient désormais de faire connaître, de partager. C'est la raison pour laquelle, à l'occasion de cet anniversaire, nous mettons en place une plateforme qui permettra au grand public, aux chercheurs, aux enseignants, aux élèves, aux simples curieux, d'accéder librement à des informations sur la biodiversité, l'hydrologie, les connaissances sur les peuples autochtones. Et nous avons aussi des rendez-vous très importants qui se profilent pour notre futur. Le Forum de l'UNESCO sur la biodiversité en mars, le Congrès mondial de la nature à Marseille en septembre, la COP 15 à Kunming en Chine sur la biodiversité, la COP 26 sur le changement climatique à Glasgow au Royaume-Uni en novembre seront autant d'occasions de nous montrer ambitieux et d'obtenir des engagements concrets. Et ce serait, je crois, rendre le meilleur hommage à toutes celles et tous ceux qui ont soutenu ce programme depuis sa création. Et je voudrais ici remercier très particulièrement le Dr Jane Goodall d'avoir accepté d'être la marraine de ce 50e anniversaire. Son travail, sa vie, incarnent l'ambition de ce programme, puisque la réserve de biosphère de Gombe Masita Ugala en Tanzanie est la prolongation directe de ses recherches sur les grands singes commencées il y a 60 ans. Merci à elle, merci à vous tous qui avez fait vivre et continuez de faire vivre ce programme dont l'ambition est plus pertinente que jamais. Merci à vous.
Thank you very much, Director General, for these very inspiring words. And also you got some impressions of what the DG just presented on the figures. I think it's very important also to have this strong support from the highest hierarchy here in UNESCO to this exciting program. Now I would like to give the floor to Professor Adepoju Adeshola, who is from Nigeria, who is the chair of the International Coordination Council of the Man the Biosphere program. Professor Adeshola, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Director Miguel, my good friend. Nice to see you again. Distinguished Madam Assistant Director General of Natural Sciences, and please help us convey our warm greetings to the DG for those kind words about Man Biosphere program. Distinguished colleagues of MAB Bureau and MAB ICC, dear chairs of regional MAB network, dear MAB youth spokespersons, dear Biosphere reserve managers, dear partners, dear MAB secretary and the entire secretarial staff, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I am honored to open this mobilization session for the 50th anniversary of MAB program. My election in October as the chair of MAB, International Coordinating Council, the MAB ICC, is indeed a clarion call to a greater service, which I'm truly humbled and deeply grateful to God. It is therefore a great pleasure and honor for me to lead MAB communities through this 50th anniversary celebration. 50 years ago, the MAB program was funded as a pioneer for sustainable development, underscoring the fact that sustainable development is only possible if people live in harmony with their environment. Over time, MAB program has progressively focused on World Network of Biosphere Reserves, a dynamic and interactive network of sites of excellence. The network fosters the harmonious integration of people and nature for sustainable development through participatory dialogue, knowledge sharing, poverty reduction, and women well-being improvements. Respect for cultural values and society ability to cope with change. Today, the presence of 714 biosphere reserves in 129 countries is an evidence of the intrinsic value of how a life that addresses nature conservation, climate change impact, and cultural diversity is possible and absolutely necessary for human well-being. This year, the year of MAB celebration, started again in the light of the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic that already dominated our daily lives last year. The 32nd session of MAB ICC was held virtually for the first time, and today's session is also a digital event, though this makes it possible for many of us to attend. However, the global health crisis does not prevent us to celebrate together. On the contrary, it brings to limelight the critical interactions and interrelationships between human and natural ecosystem. The pandemic has reminded us of one essential truth: we are vulnerable. We, the MAB communities, are therefore convinced of the need to restore and present this link of 50 years and today with our 5 regional network, thematic network, the youth network, and activities on the ground in biosphere reserves. Where 260 million people are living, we are stronger than ever. Looking back 50 years ago, we are proud to say that immeasurable and multidimensional contribution of MAB program cannot be overemphasized in terms of relevance, peace, and sustainable development, human and socio-economic growth, ecosystem conservation, as well as advancement of biological and cultural diversity. In my capacity as the MAB ICC chair, I warmly invite each and every member of the MAB community to vibrantly celebrate our 50th anniversary. For the last 50 years, we proved to be the champion of sustainable development, so let's demonstrate it to the world. The first MAB ICC to be ever on the African continent is scheduled to hold in Abuja, Nigeria in June 2021. I hereby convene the invitation of my country to all of you to celebrate the 50th year of MAB program together in Abuja, where we look forward to another 50 years to come, great contribution of our vibrant youth. This year is ours. It is about life. Thank you. And I wish everybody a warm deliberation this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear friend Adepoju, for your really exciting and inspiring words. Be assured that ICC Nigeria will take place this year. We will work together. We will have a very important and very prominent event in your country. And thank you very much for your personal engagement and also for the engagement of the government of Nigeria to so strongly support this important event, the first ICC to happen in Africa. I think it's really an exciting event. The DG already announced that Jane Goodall has become our spokesperson, and the last ICC that we held here in Paris confirmed this decision. So I'm very pleased now to announce some welcoming remarks done by our spokesperson Jane Goodall, followed by some small videos. Please, Jane Goodall.
Hello, I'm truly honoured to have been asked to act as spokesperson on behalf of the Jane Goodall Institute, or JGI, in the events planned by the Man and Biosphere Council and the UNESCO Secretariat to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the founding of the UNESCO Man and Biosphere, or MAB, reserves. The concept of the MAB reserves as places where people can live sustainably and in harmony with the natural world has always been central to the vision of the JGI. The Gombe Masitu Ugala ecosystem, home to most of Tanzania's wild chimpanzee population, became a Man and Biosphere reserve in 2018, and this has enabled us to work with the local communities there to help them develop ways of making a living without destroying their environment. I am especially pleased that all 4 of the great apes, our closest living relatives, still thrive in 17 of the MAB reserves in Africa and Asia. Chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas, and orangutans, along with most of the gibbons and so many other species of animals and plants, are endangered. Their long-term future depends on the understanding and cooperation of local communities. The COVID-19 pandemic, which has caused so much suffering, loss of life, loss of jobs, and economic chaos, has been to a large extent caused by our disrespect of animals and the natural world. About 75% of all newly emerging diseases in humans are zoonotic, that is, caused by pathogens spilling over from animals to people. The destruction of habitats and the conditions in wildlife and bushmeat markets and factory farms, as well as the wildlife trade that includes that in exotic pets, they all create conditions that enable the emergence of these zoonotic diseases. Perhaps the most important lesson we can learn from this terrible pandemic is that we urgently need to develop a new relationship with nature and animals, because it is this same disrespect for the natural world that's caused the climate crisis. It's become increasingly clear that if we carry on with business as usual, the result will be catastrophic. Our planet has a growing population of humans and their livestock, and only finite natural resources. And these, in some places, are already being used up faster than nature can replenish them. And so I repeat, it is desperately important that we develop a new relationship with the natural world. And MAB reserves, such as Gombe Masitu Ugala, provide opportunities for helping local communities develop livelihoods that will enable them to conserve their precious natural resources, such as tree cover, water, and healthy soils. Of course, at the same time, we have to work on the insatiable and unsustainable demand for all manner of natural resources resulting from unsustainable economic development. There's not much time to avert total ecosystem collapse in some places, so we must work fast. It's my hope that the 50th anniversary celebration of the UNESCO Man and Biosphere reserves will raise awareness of the need to increase support for the existing reserves and create new ones. And finally, let me say that I, along with the Jane Goodall Institute Global and its network of 25 chapters around the world, are truly delighted to be involved with UNESCO's Man and the Biosphere program during this year's celebrations. It is my sincere hope that by collaboration, dialogue, and partnership, we will move towards a more sustainable future.
much, Jane Goodall. I think it's an enormous honor for us, for the whole MAB community, to have you as a spokesperson and to so actively support the work that is done worldwide in the biosphere reserves and in MAB program. I took personally your message, new relationship with nature. I think this is the most important point, and you show it through your entire career that you were doing, and also working within the biosphere reserve, how important this is. We continue with the journey here on the MAB anniversary. I would like to invite the Assistant Director General for Natural Sciences of UNESCO, Dr. Shamila Nair-Bedwell, to give us also some welcoming remarks. Dr. Shamila, please.
Thank you very much, Miguel, and good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and my very best wishes to Dr. Adeshola, the MAB Chair, as well as to Dr. Jane Goodall for their very inspiring remarks and sharing with us their thoughts and ideas about the UNESCO MAB program. Dear colleagues, in 1945, UNESCO was set up after the ravages of the Second World War, bringing together the education, the culture, science, and communication as a means of bringing people together to promote peace, as the constitution of our organization indicates. Since wars begin in the minds of men, it is in the minds of men and women that peace can be constructed. Today, as Madam Jane Goodall has indicated, and she is the messenger of peace, what kind of peace do we need with nature today? Do we promote peace with nature or for nature? Dear colleagues, many years ago, forefathers of UNESCO in 1947 organized the first ever regional conference on the protection of nature. Later on, and this was in 1947, thereafter, in 1997, the General Conference of Member States of UNESCO adopted the Declaration on the Responsibilities of the Present Generations towards Future Generations. How does all this fit in with the current pandemic, with the zoonotic disease appearance, with the sanitary conditions facing people across the world, with the economic crisis that this brings with us, and with the environmental crisis that we are all facing here today? How can we be more responsible to future generations as we are the present generation? What do we need to change? How can we change that? What is possible? Well, today is a very important day. We are all gathered here today, representatives of the man and the biosphere community worldwide, member states, colleagues, the national committees, governments, focal points, biosphere reserves, managers, coordinators, scientists, representatives of local communities, the Man in the Biosphere Youth Network, the Women Network. We all gathered here today to mobilize and to shed light on the work that the MAB program has undertaken and the World Network of Biosphere Reserves has been doing for over 50 years. After a particularly difficult year 2020, which was marked by the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, which demonstrated our planetary interdependence, as indicated by the previous speakers, and how dramatic the rupture of the link with biodiversity could be for our societies, current and future. The celebration of this anniversary is a reminder of what we could do better in the future. It's a reminder of lessons learned. It's a reminder that MAB and the Biosphere program already promotes and protects 5% of the surface of the Mother Earth. But it also reminds us that it's an opportunity to illuminate our paths by showing what is possible. At the dawn of a new year, dear colleagues, we must collectively regain the enthusiasm, the optimism, the solidarity, and the energy to make new commitments, drawing on the experiences and the sharing of solutions of the MAB program, where we can demonstrate today's challenge is possible. That is, humans can live in harmony with nature, with all other living human beings, and with all other living beings, and we can all coexist in nature on Earth. In 2021, we celebrate the 5th anniversary of UNESCO's MAB program. Above all, the work and commitment of millions of women and men who make up the body, the soul, the spirit of Biosphere reserves. Since its creation in 1971, and prior to that, already in the 1950s and 60s, when UNESCO was first funding environmental sciences program, this program of the MAB Biosphere has paved the way for a vision that renewed a relationship between humans and the environment since 1971 already. And it's an opportunity to reconcile preservation, conservation with socio-economic development, to transmit and to restore the full potential of the life on Earth, which is biodiversity, to future generations. Since the beginning and the official mention of the Biosphere Reserves concept, and the designation of the first 57 biosphere reserves in 1976, this program has continued to develop thanks to the ambition, the strength of its member states, the conviction of millions of people across the world, and to a more sustainable society. 50 years later, 740 biosphere reserves have been established in 129 countries, including 21 transboundary sites, promoting peace among nations and demonstrating the commitment of UNESCO's member states to open up spaces of harmony between human beings and the environment. Today, with 5% of the terrestrial surface covered by the biosphere reserves, in which live more than 260 million people who call biosphere reserves their home, women and men have decided to commit themselves to the territory in a respectful way and to seek solutions to global challenges. But there's also the scientific community, which through its research collects and analyzes data so that we can better understand our planet and take informed decisions about the diversity, the interactions, and how we need to change these in order to preserve what nature offers us so willingly and so unlimitedly for future generations. There are also decision makers who, through policies taken at national, local, regional, international level, promote action to direct their territories towards sustainability. As we begin to celebrate 50 years of this program, I want to take this opportunity to pay tribute and express my warmest and most sincere thanks to all those who have supported the work of the MAB, the Biosphere Reserves, for the last half a century. The key themes of the MAB program, such as biodiversity conservation, preservation, sustainable development, restoration, interdisciplinary, bringing together the education, culture, science, and communication, and the participatory approaches of all stakeholders being involved. The training of youth and the involvement of youth has brought us together in a very unique community to advocate for common issues, our common shared value, Mother Earth, so that we can have harmonious life on Earth with respect for living things. Dear colleagues, convinced of the path that we are treading, I invite all those who recognize themselves in these values to join the journey, to join the MAB community, to work for a better future as a common denominator, which is the defense of our planet Earth. I am convinced that in each and every one of you, there are talents to be developed, ideas to be materialized, desires to be expressed, and projects to be realized, as well as lessons to be shared and narratives to be shared across the world of how you are all living in harmony with nature in biosphere reserves. You are the best asset of our planet, and you are most important to ensure that we respect our planet for future generations. So please join the community, be the breath of new aspirations and the new impetus that we all need today. This 5th anniversary is about embracing an ambitious collective perspective, writing the new page in our common history for the future of mankind, opening up possibilities for an inspiring and healthy future to cohabit and in a more united and a fairer planet Earth, where people take responsibility for living in harmony. After all, it's about life, yours, ours, and the planet. Dear colleagues, UNESCO is committed to ensure a new alliance, nature, a new coalition with and for nature. And this coalition and alliance is built around our shared values for the living. I want to sincerely thank all of you for joining us here today, and especially our colleagues from the MAB program, led by Miguel, Miriam, Noli, and all the others who have made major efforts to bring us here today in this online webinar. We want to share with you that MAB and Biosphere reserves are really here to promote the peace for nature and the peace with nature. We can restore, we can utilize, we can conserve, can preserve, but we can also live in harmony with nature, just as nature would like to live in harmony with human beings. I sincerely thank you on behalf of UNESCO. Please join the journey for a fairer planet, and let's have a more positive thinking and positive attitudes and behaviors towards our only planet, because there is no planet B. And the Man in the Biosphere Reserves provides the best models for sustainable development to demonstrate that, yes, it's possible. We can co-live with nature, for nature. Thank you very much. And I wish you good deliberations. Thank you. And over to you, Miguel.
Thank you very much, Shamila. Thank you very much for those very encouraging words, showing us really where we are at stake right now, what are the challenges to come, and where your position So sorry, I was muted. Thank you very much, Shamila. I will start again for your very encouraging words, for your showing us exactly where we are standing now, where the Secretariat in his work, but also the entire MAB community is located now. And also what we see, what are the challenges ahead? We are sometimes saying we had already done 50 years, but I'm sometimes used to say we have done the first 50 years. Now the next are to come. And so we move now on into the presentation of the MAB program. What would be the next steps? What would be where we are right now within the program? And what would be the further activities that we will have throughout the entire year of this anniversary? Thank you, Shamila, again.
In the minds of men. It is in the minds of men that the defences of peace must be constructed.
thank you for this nice video. We have seen already a presentation on this 50th MAB anniversary, and the relation to this meeting is we are here, of course, in the mobilization session. That is a launching video because on 24th of March this year, we will have a forum on biodiversity opened in person by the Director General of UNESCO, by Jane Goodall, also by the ADG of Science, Shamila Nair-Bedwell, and the official launching of the MAB anniversary. So as you have seen, there are many, many activities going all over the world. This anniversary is not just an anniversary for the Secretariat, absolutely not. This is the anniversary of the entire MAB community, of you who are doing the job, who are doing really the work in the sites with the people. We heard already from the senior management the figures of 5% of the terrestrial surface, more than 260 million people involved. So I would like to bring you very quickly with my colleagues, Noeline Roundry and Manuel Gifoni and Amandine Collins, through get an overview on the activities that are foreseen and that will happen this year. So let's start this presentation. As you can see here, aiming for the perfect alignment. This is, of course, something we have the anniversary, the 50th anniversary. We start at the bottom. This is, of course, honoring the pioneers who, as already mentioned, 50 years ago, started this journey. It was absolutely new those days. It was really something that nobody had invented before. It was really a landmark event when this program started. We had then, of course, UNESCO biodiversity strategy. This is what we heard: restoring and connection, people and nature. This is something that in the past we may have lost a little bit, but where UNESCO in this program, in the MAB program, and in other programs also, is working to really restoring this connection. And we heard already from Jane Goodall that if this is not done, we face, and we are already facing with COVID-19, but we may face even more severe activities. Then, of course, we have the 70th anniversary of UNESCO at all this year. This is quite important that we see the connection of the house, of the peace building, peacekeeping measures that UNESCO has done in the last 75 years, and where we were really proud and honored to be part in the MAB program of the last 50 years to be on board. Then, of course, we have the Sustainable Development Agenda with the Sustainable Development Goals. We know in the UN, let's say, history, how this evolves. How are the challenges? Challenges are not written in stone, they are moving. So the agenda, the 17 goals were written down, and we have to see now where we'll be going in the next decade. What will be the major challenges? What are the very strong points that we have that? So of course, the MAB program and any other program of UNESCO is an integral part of this entire exercise. And it's very important that we all participate in that. And we are really towards the road of 2030, where we hopefully will be having implemented this Sustainable Development Goals, and the MAB program is part of it. When we come to the next slide, for what can be done? We have identified, in fact, some 4 pillars that will certainly guide our work in the next years. And the first is this visibility and outreach. This, of course, a very crucial moment, using all these different events also, and moments and opportunities to get a greater visibility and to make really the program worldwide known. I tend to say we are right now with biosphere reserves active in only, in inverted commas, only 129 countries. The world has 195 countries so far, so there is still a long way to go. We were talking about 5% of the surface that is covered by biosphere reserve. This is good. This is a good score, but it's not enough. We can certainly do better. And when I say we, it's of course not we, the Secretariat, but we all, the MAB community, together can be in that. We have the scientific mission of the MAB program. We have, of course, really linked more the scientific community with the biosphere reserves. We call the biosphere reserves laboratories for sustainable development, where also you can have really scientific work based in these areas, where you have a mandate to do something, where you can implement directly the ideas you have on a site and prove your theory is worthwhile to be implemented. The next pillar will be, of course, this local grassroots solutions that we have in a local place, actions that can be implemented globally also, and that we see how is the global impact of, let's say, a small experience. What can be really the individual action in one side bring to the whole community? We have very good examples and very good evidence that this sort of imagination and creation, innovation, insights is not only good for the site or for the region, has a tremendous impact globally. So of course, making known this global grassroots solutions, it's very important. The last pillar is honor the MAB community. As we said already, this program has been thought and invented in the 70s, because in the 70s already it was known that later on was then really worked out that conservation and development are two sides of the same coin. The one does not go without the other. It was a really pioneering work that our fathers of the MAB program, fathers and mothers of the MAB program did those days. And it was really well looking forward in advance. And they made a great, great contribution to the program. And of course, now this was the pioneers, but now what is up to come? And what's up to come, I think it's very important that we link these different experiences that we have had and with those who are supposed to come now. And I think the challenges are even higher sometimes than they were before. So the new generations that are coming on board, they will certainly have a huge task in front of them. We have some prepared also some activities for that. For example, just a very small example, we have technical guidelines for biosphere reserves. They were recently approved. They will be on the web available. I think it's also a major step forward to see really to help the countries how to walk forward in this initiative. But allow me to give the floor now to my colleague Audrey to have some activities of the 50th anniversary and the roadmap that come. Noéline, please.
Merci Miguel. Bonjour à tous. Je vais parler en français pour que ce soit un petit peu divers. Donc, je vais vous présenter la feuille de route du 50e anniversaire. Et pour commencer, d'abord, à qui s'adresse ce 50e anniversaire? Qui sont nos publics cibles? Bien sûr, nous sommes dans le programme sur l'homme et la biosphère, le MAB, donc il y a au centre de tout ça, il y a la population, il y a les personnes. Et tout d'abord, les personnes qui vivent dans les 714 réserves de biosphère, qui représentent à elles seules 275 millions de personnes. Oui, nous avons 275 millions de personnes qui vivent dans les réserves de biosphère. C'est considérable. Et nous sommes une force. Et nous sommes une force qui peut vraiment faire bouger les choses vers une nouvelle normalité. Et je pense que ce 50e anniversaire est un moment privilégié pour montrer comment le MAB, depuis 50 ans, a contribué à avoir une meilleure planète, mais comment il va continuer pendant les décennies à venir à renforcer son action. Il y a aussi, bien sûr, la population des 129 pays qui ont des réserves de biosphère. Et dans ces pays, nous avons l'ambition que les réserves de biosphère soient des modèles de développement durable. Et cette célébration devrait donc aussi inspirer les communautés qui ne font pas encore partie de notre réseau. Comme Miguel l'a dit, nous avons encore beaucoup de pays qui n'ont pas de réserve de biosphère. Alors utilisons ce 50e anniversaire pour les inspirer et pour leur donner l'envie de nous rejoindre dans notre réseau. Et bien sûr, un composant absolument important et de notre population, c'est la jeunesse. Les jeunes sont les acteurs du MAB, ils l'ont démontré déjà très bien, mais pour l'avenir, c'est une composante qui est essentielle. Les 50 ans du MAB à venir seront les 50 ans de notre jeunesse actuelle. Et donc, il est important qu'ils soient là, qu'ils participent, qu'ils aient des activités qui sont extrêmement importantes. Et je voudrais dire que les jeunes du MAB ont une contribution qui a déjà un actif très important. Et je voudrais juste, par exemple, citer leur action quand ils ont pris la parole aux Nations Unies pendant le sommet sur le changement climatique en 2019. Cela a été un moment fort et cela a été un moment qui a été porté par notre jeunesse. Et enfin, il y a parmi les audiences, deux autres types d'acteurs qui sont extrêmement importants, les partenaires et les parties prenantes. Le MAB, c'est une affaire de coopération internationale, nous le savons tous. Et donc, il est important qu'à travers ce 50e anniversaire, nous puissions toucher tous les partenaires et toutes les parties prenantes, que ce soit les États membres, en particulier les délégations que nous avons ici au siège, mais également les autres partenaires de l'UNESCO en tant qu'agence des Nations Unies, nos partenaires du système des Nations Unies et bien sûr aussi les donateurs qui sont une part importante, sinon indispensable à nos actions. Et enfin, la troisième grande audience, c'est la communauté scientifique. Notre ADG Science, Shamila l'a rappelé, Miguel l'a rappelé, le programme MAB est un programme scientifique. Et il l'a été très fortement lorsqu'il a été créé. Et je pense que nous devons au cours de ce 50e anniversaire, mettre l'accent sur ce programme scientifique intergouvernemental et que nous mettions la science à l'honneur pour qu'elle reprenne toute la place qu'elle avait lors du lancement du MAB il y a 50 ans. Et bien sûr, ces trois audiences majeures du 50e vont se renforcer mutuellement et c'est donc autour de ces trois communautés que nous allons construire nos activités du 50e anniversaire. Next, please. Alors, pour ce 50e anniversaire, nous avons préparé un certain nombre de ressources, un certain nombre de moyens qui seront mis à votre disposition pour promouvoir le programme, pour le faire connaître à travers la sensibilisation, à travers l'éducation, ou encore pour partager quelques actions de la communauté de pratique du MAB. Alors, je vais vous présenter rapidement ces ressources parce que mes collègues vont entrer plus dans le détail tout à l'heure. Nous avons bien sûr des messages vidéo. Vous venez de voir le message, d'entendre et de voir le message de notre directrice générale, Madame Audrey Azoulay, pour le 50e anniversaire. Vous avez aussi vu aujourd'hui le message de notre marraine, Madame le docteur Jane Goodall, et nous espérons aussi avoir un message vidéo du secrétaire général des Nations Unies, Monsieur Guterres. Et donc tout ça, c'est pour vraiment promouvoir au plus haut niveau le programme MAB à travers ce 50e anniversaire. Nous avons aussi préparé tout un ensemble de kits visuels pour que le 50e anniversaire ait sa propre identité visuelle. Je ne vais pas entrer dans le détail, mes collègues vont le faire, mais ceci c'est pour vous montrer que le 50e anniversaire est un mouvement global et nous allons nous approprier ce mouvement à travers une identité commune. Nous avons également créé une page spéciale pour le 50e anniversaire qui va vous être présentée tout à l'heure. Next, please. Et nous allons également cette année créer une plateforme afin que les informations qui concernent les réserves de biosphère, en particulier les informations géoréférenciées, soient mises à la disposition de tout un chacun à travers une plateforme qui sera un accès libre et où il y aura de nombreuses données, de nombreux indicateurs qui pourront être suivis. Ces indicateurs seront soit biologiques ou socio-économiques, mais en tous les cas, ce seront des informations qui seront extrêmement importantes pour que nous puissions suivre l'évolution de notre programme à travers le temps. Et il est assez symbolique, je pense, que cette base de données sur les réserves de biosphère puisse démarrer l'année du 50e anniversaire de notre programme. Évidemment, nous allons préparer du matériel éducatif pour les écoles. La jeunesse, on l'a dit, c'est important qu'ils soient informés, sensibilisés. Et donc, il est important que nous puissions aussi, à travers notre 50e anniversaire, sensibiliser et éduquer les plus jeunes, mais pas seulement. Nous aurons également du matériel éducatif pour toutes sortes de cibles, pour toutes sortes de publics. Et enfin, dernière chose que je présenterai, mais ça sera présenté plus en détail comme je disais tout à l'heure, nous allons avoir une exposition, une très belle exposition qui va tourner dans le monde entier. Et c'est une exposition qui nous est offerte par la Fondation Albertis d'Espagne. Et ma collègue Amandine nous en parlera tout à l'heure, mais vous verrez, c'est quelque chose qui va nous permettre vraiment de partager les actions que nos communautés de pratique mènent à travers le monde. Next, please. Et enfin, en termes de ressources, nous allons avoir les ressources à travers les différents médias. Nous allons produire des petits documentaires de 3 minutes qui vont montrer des activités de terrain, que ce soit de la recherche ou des activités de toutes sortes. Et nous allons présenter ces mini-documentaires, il y en aura un par mois. Et donc, nous viendrons vers vous pour identifier les sites et pour identifier les activités que vous voulez mettre en lumière dans ces mini-documentaires. Vous êtes déjà tous familiers avec les vidéos Proud to Share. Donc, le 50e anniversaire est l'occasion de multiplier encore toutes ces bonnes pratiques que l'on a. Nous avons déjà partagé avec vous comment participer à Proud to Share, comment nous envoyer vos vidéos, sous quel format. Et donc, nous attendons beaucoup de toute la communauté du MAB pour enrichir cette communauté de pratique qui est si utile et qui est vraiment une des marques de notre programme MAB avec son réseau de sites à travers le monde. Et bien sûr, nous allons bien évidemment, mettre en lumière la jeunesse, nos jeunes, et nous allons produire des vidéos d'1 minute sur des jeunes leaders dans les réserves de biosphère, afin qu'ils puissent être des rôle modèles, des modèles pour les jeunes comme eux, et peut-être même pour les plus petits qu'eux, pour les tout petits, pour les enfants, afin que notre communauté puisse, à travers les décennies, continuer à vivre et continuer à être au centre du développement durable. Et bien sûr, toutes ces ressources vont être partagées à travers des vidéos, des émissions radio, des expositions digitales. Donc, nous espérons vraiment utiliser tous les médias et nous comptons énormément sur votre contribution pour faire de ce 50e anniversaire le 50e anniversaire du MAB, mais le 50e anniversaire de chacun d'entre nous aussi. Next, please. Alors, voici je vais vous présenter ici la feuille de route du 50e anniversaire. Vous voyez, c'est encore un travail en construction, comme on dit, work in progress. Donc, c'est en cours de construction tout simplement parce que nous avons l'ambition que cette feuille de route décrive toutes les activités qui se feront pendant le 50e anniversaire, que ces activités se passent au niveau local, au niveau national, au niveau régional ou au niveau global. Nous avons l'ambition de partager sur le site web toutes ces activités pour promouvoir ce que vous faites, toutes les bonnes choses que vous faites partout dans le monde et que tout le monde puisse se tenir informé de ce que vous faites. Donc, vous voyez ici, vous avez les différents mois. On a mis quelques activités que nous avons déjà maintenant. Je ne vais pas toutes les présenter, je vais juste en présenter quelques-unes. Donc, aujourd'hui, nous démarrons avec cette session de mobilisation de la communauté du MAB. Oui, on se mobilise, on commence aujourd'hui. D'autres ont déjà commencé un peu plus tôt, mais tous ensemble, aujourd'hui, mettons la pierre. Nous commençons à avancer aujourd'hui et nous avons eu aujourd'hui plusieurs vidéos, dont la première vidéo de notre spokesperson, de notre marraine. Comme disait Miguel aussi, nous avons aujourd'hui lancé, nous avons publié sur notre site web les directives techniques pour les réserves de biosphère. C'est un document qui a été demandé par la communauté du MAB depuis déjà très longtemps. Et je pense que c'était aussi pour nous un signal que ces directives techniques soient mises à disposition de toute la communauté aujourd'hui pendant cette mobilisation de notre communauté pour le programme MAB et pour le 50e anniversaire. Et également, cette année, le bureau de Bangkok ce mois-ci, va organiser un webinaire sur la paix et nous espérons que vous serez nombreux à participer à ce webinaire. Le rendez-vous le plus proche, en tous les cas, en ce qui concerne la communauté dans son ensemble, c'est le forum sur la biodiversité qui aura lieu le 24 mars prochain, organisé par l'UNESCO, et au cours duquel il y aura le lancement officiel, cette fois-ci du 50e anniversaire. Aujourd'hui, nous avons voulu vraiment que cette session se fasse un petit peu entre nous, communauté du MAB, et le lancement officiel qui va toucher toutes sortes de participants dans le monde aura donc lieu le 24 mars. Et c'est au cours de cet événement, le 24 mars, que le Dr Jane Goodall, qui est notre marraine, va annoncer publiquement le nom des 5 jeunes qui vont partager le mandat avec elle de faire vivre ce 50e anniversaire. Et donc, ces 5 jeunes vont venir des 5 régions du MAB, et nous aurons un jeune qui viendra du réseau Root and Shoots, qui est un réseau qui est affilié, je dirais, au Jane Goodall Institute et qui est très actif en particulier dans la réserve de biosphère de Gombe-Masito-Ugala. Et donc, le sixième jeune spokesperson viendra de cette réserve de biosphère. Et également, en mars, nous aurons un événement, It's About Life, qui se passera dans le réseau des réserves de biosphère de l'Asie du Sud-Est. Donc voilà par exemple quelques activités. Nous aurons bien sûr des activités au niveau mondial, comme nous le savons, la journée internationale de la diversité biologique. Et au mois de juin, nous aurons notre 33e session du Conseil de coordination international du MAB qui se passera à Abuja, comme l'a annoncé notre président du ICC. Et au cours de cette session, il est prévu d'organiser le village des jeunes, à l'instar de ce qui a été organisé lors du Forum des jeunes en Chine. Et donc, nous allons organiser au cours de ce MAB ICC un forum où nous espérons que tous les jeunes mabiens viendront et pourront présenter ce qu'ils font chez eux. Et vraiment, nous espérons que ce sera l'image de ce que nous voulons que le MAB soit dans les décennies à venir, c'est-à-dire un programme vibrant et un programme où la jeunesse se sent complètement à l'aise. Nous aurons également d'autres activités, mais je ne vais pas rentrer dans le détail pour ces 6 premiers mois. Peut-être, maybe the next slide, OK. Et donc, pour du mois d'août au mois de décembre, vous avez là aussi un certain nombre d'activités, comme par exemple, je peux citer la 19e réunion du réseau Ibero-MAB qui aura lieu à San José au Costa Rica. Je peux également citer la journée des sciences. Vous savez, elle a toujours lieu le 24 novembre et cette année, donc, pendant cette journée des sciences, il y aura une excursion des jeunes qui sera organisée dans la réserve de biosphère de Ranong en Thaïlande. Donc, vous voyez là un petit peu les activités qui sont prévues, mais vraiment, nous vous demandons de nous faire parvenir toutes vos informations afin que ceci soit partagé avec l'ensemble du réseau et que, par exemple, si moi, je me trouve dans un endroit où il va y avoir une activité du MAB, je puisse y aller et ça sera donc, pour nous, ça sera comme une vitrine un petit peu de ce que nous allons faire au cours du 50e anniversaire. Et bien sûr, tout au long de l'année, nous allons avoir des académies vertes. Tout au long de l'année, nous allons avoir des webinars qui seront organisés, par exemple, par le réseau Arab-MAB ou encore par le réseau de l'Amérique centrale des réserves de biosphère. Nous allons avoir des événements dans le sud-est asiatique. Donc, ceci pour vous dire que cette année, nous n'allons pas chômer et que nous espérons vraiment que tous ensemble, nous allons faire de ce 50e anniversaire un succès mémorable que beaucoup d'entre nous ne vont pas oublier de sitôt. Voilà, je crois que j'ai fini, Miguel, et je vous remercie pour votre attention.
Merci beaucoup, Noéline. C'est vraiment, tu nous as fait tout un super tableau des activités du programme pour cette année. Et à part les différentes activités qui sont prévues évidemment par le secrétariat, et tu as mentionné le conseil MAP au Nigeria qui va certainement être un highlight, il y a toutes les différentes activités qui viennent évidemment de nos pays et des réserves de biosphère elles-mêmes. Et ça, c'est vraiment très important parce que nous allons documenter tout ce qui a été fait Et dans ce sens, je voudrais inviter maintenant mon collègue Manuel Gifoni de nous présenter The Brand Kit et aussi notre site web dont tout ça va être mis à disposition du monde entier. Manuel, por favor.
Hello, everyone. Boa tarde. My name is Manuel Gifoni, and I am communication consultant at UNESCO's MAB program. I am very happy to present to you today some of the elements we have created for you on the brand kit and our special website for the celebration. First of all, a few words about the main illustration. Just a minute. It is not. Okay, yeah, there we go. Sorry. A few words about our main illustration, which was created by the Spanish designer Fernando del Hambre, with inputs from basically everyone from the Secretariat and the field offices. It is certainly a challenge, of course, to create a visual identity comprising elements from all over the world and achievements of our program in the past 50 years. But I guess we came to an image that gives hints of our mission. Because as you are seeing today, this campaign aims to reflect the program, which is not about the guy or the girl or the bird or the beast. It's about life. The motto is quite straightforward. We looked for something simple, but truly connected to our values. We also created some simplified formats. These images, they are available for everyone on our website in fully adaptable formats. You can replace the text, you can simply delete it, you can resize the components. It can be easily applied on silk screen and stencil. Depending on how the situation goes the year ahead, group customization activities could be an idea, particularly if we talk about used clothes and apparel, as you can see on the screen. We suggest you to reuse tissues and objects and be creative so that we avoid waste, right? Now let me talk about certain contents that will be exclusively available on our brand kit. As I will show you in a bit, you can find on our website a set of criteria for organizing an official event or activity. If your event fits this criteria, you'll be granted access to all the illustrations, logos, templates. Let me go through them in detail. We have, for example, here on screen, a few templates for digital invitations for events, but we also are going to provide you with the individual elements separated so you can adapt them, integrate them in your own visual identity. You can move, rotate, resize, play with transparencies. Also, all these animated elements will come separately in their animated versions without background, so you can include them in your videos. As you have seen earlier, we could create some really interesting and eye-catching videos with these materials. And let me add a few things about the videos. You have seen a few videos that we have created for this mobilization session, but that throughout the year, we want to have you on these videos in a more personalized way. So that's why we have invited you to send your materials, send your stories, so that we can spread these images and these stories on our social media, on UNESCO social media, and also through the media partnerships that we're seeking. Now let's talk about a little bit of the website, which will be the digital hub of our celebrations. You can see there, we created some animations. We have the In Focus session, which will feature our videos, exhibitions, the official events you'll be hosting. Then we have a little explanation about the celebration with a little animated logo, in case you have forgotten. Then about the MAB program, there's a video by our director.
Hello, Ladies and gentlemen, friends of the Biosphere Reserve.
You can watch it later. It's very interesting. It has some commentary as well. And on the news, we have on the bottom, we have some space for news. Let's have a look at the Get Involved section. In here, we explain some concepts of the campaign and the visual identity. There is an official area, an area for official events and initiatives where you can have a look at the patronage criteria. The resources for everyone basically has all the simplified formats. And then we come to the history section, where you can scroll through the history of the program or look for specific events on the timeline, as you can see here. A section dedicated to our spokespeople, where we explain why Jane Goodall was chosen to be one of them, and we'll give you all the details about the MAB Youth spokespeople when they are announced. We would appreciate if you could look at this website, particularly at the history section, and please let us know how it can be more complete and more user-friendly to you. The website will be work in progress through the end of the celebrations. Well, this is it from my side. As you can see in the materials I have presented, they invite the community to participate, to interact, to own. This is the most important, that you own these materials and you own the celebrations. These dynamics will be key for a successful campaign. This is the address of the website. It is available in English, French, and Spanish. We are still making some adjustments. I'm sorry about this. It will be fully operational on the launching of the campaign in March, but most of the information I shared today is already there. And please use our hashtag, It's About Life, so we can keep track of all your activities and help disseminate them as well. I'll be glad to answer questions in the Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Manuel. This was a really great presentation on how we can document all the different activities that are going on all over the world. This is also quite important because we get always questions, if we want to do something, how we can do it. Do you have ideas? Do you have other people working on that? I think this is the forum now where to be used by all and everybody to present what you're doing, to see where are your successes, your challenges, to share this with the world community, because we don't need to reinvent the wheel all over the place. There is a lot of knowledge and activities out there. We have to summarize, we have to bring them to the world, and in order to face new challenges. And I think with all the material you presented here, it's an excellent forum. This also brings us to the way then from our side to summarize and to make presentations, publications, and exhibitions. And I think one good example will follow now from presented by Amandine Collins on the exhibition that has already been mentioned. Amandine, you have the floor.
Merci Miguel. Oui, comme Miguel vient juste de présenter, je vais revenir avec vous sur un des éléments, une des activités qui est prévue par le secrétariat dans le cadre des célébrations du 50e anniversaire. Donc, c'est une exposition qui était prévue pour le 50e anniversaire, mais qui prend en compte également tout ce que nous avons appris cette dernière année de la pandémie. L'objectif de cette exposition, c'est vraiment de reconnecter avec la vie, de reconnecter avec la nature dans un environnement où on pense, on imagine qu'elle a disparu. Et ce sont principalement les villes. Quand on pense à ville, c'est vrai que c'est une zone qu'on met souvent en parallèle, au contraire de la nature. Donc, notre exposition serait une exposition multimédia. Donc, ce sont des panneaux comme d'habitude, j'ai envie de dire, qui serait lié à des podcasts où donc, on va pouvoir écouter les sons des réserves de biosphère, les histoires de ces réserves de biosphère racontées par ses habitants. Donc, l'objectif, c'est pour l'usager, la personne qui va voir cette exposition, de voyager à travers elle, d'imaginer le futur, un futur où les humains et la nature vivent en harmonie et où ils célèbrent la vie. Next, madame, please. Donc cette exposition aurait, on va dire, c'est d'abord un voyage mondial avec un socle, on va dire, de présentation de réserves de biosphère, d'histoire à travers le monde, mais également un voyage local qui est peut-être un peu plus accessible actuellement au vu des restrictions un petit peu partout à travers le monde, avec des réserves de biosphère très très proches des lieux de l'exposition. C'est ainsi que si on imagine une grande ville, je vais prendre par exemple ici une ville comme Paris, une réserve de biosphère qu'on peut présenter, c'est par exemple à Fontainebleau, parce qu'à Fontainebleau, véritablement, on peut faire l'aller-retour en une journée et on change complètement d'environnement. Donc, un des objectifs principaux de cette exposition, c'est qu'elle voyage. Donc, les panneaux, les podcasts de ces réserves de biosphère qui sont proches des villes où elles seraient diffusées ont vocation à être changés pour s'adapter à chaque fois. Next. Voilà. Le lancement de cette, par exemple, je vous donne cet exemple, le lancement de cette exposition est prévu à Barcelone, en Espagne, en juin. Et comme vous le voyez, alors on a disposé un petit peu partout des exemples de panneaux, là. Donc il est prévu que cette exposition ne soit pas regroupée entièrement à un même endroit, mais serait divisée en plusieurs parties et répartie à travers la ville. Ce qui permet donc non seulement de prendre en compte des conditions sanitaires, des restrictions sanitaires pour qu'il n'y ait pas trop de personnes au même endroit au même moment, mais également pour atteindre le plus de monde possible. Et vraiment, c'est cet objectif, atteindre le plus de monde possible, qui peut être possible grâce à vous, parce que la connaissance des histoires qui peuvent être racontées, la connaissance des projets, la connaissance vraiment de la matière et leur transmission, elle n'est possible que grâce à vous. Et aussi, également, si vous souhaitez accueillir cette exposition dans votre pays, dans une des grandes villes de votre pays, donc vraiment, je vous invite à nous contacter. Alors, sur l'adresse, sur le site web dédié au 50e anniversaire du programme MAB, vous trouverez une adresse email de contact. Vous pouvez nous contacter dessus, mais évidemment, vous pouvez également contacter la personne de l'UNESCO, le collègue de l'UNESCO avec qui vous avez le plus l'habitude de travailler. Et on pourra voir ensemble comment est-ce qu'on peut faire voyager cette exposition, à travers ça, faire voyager les habitants dans les réserves de biosphère. Merci beaucoup.
Born, raised, and resident in the Biosphere region.
Merci beaucoup, Amandine, et merci beaucoup à Bertis pour nous soutenir dans cette fantastique exposition que je suis sûr elle va voyager dans le monde entier. C'est quelque chose aussi comment communiquer tous les travaux que vous êtes en train de faire au monde entier. We would like to come now to presentations done by the different regional networks that we have, and also one from our new MAB youth network. We have a little problem. We are running out of time, and I'm trying here to get an extension of our session today, particularly for the interpretation. So I would ask the upcoming presenters to limit your statement, please, to 3 minutes, and to give us some exciting views on what your network right now is doing. So let's start with AfriMAB and Madame Martine Gauzet-Touao. Martine, tu as la parole.
Je salue tout le monde. Merci pour ces brillantes présentations dont vous nous avez gratifié. Vraiment, ça a été très riche. Il nous appartient de compléter tout cela. Alors, la contribution de AfriMAB est la suivante par ma voix. Je suis vraiment très heureuse et honorée de participer en synergie avec les différents acteurs impliqués dans la gestion durable et participative des réserves de biosphère d'Afrique à ce grand événement de lancement du 50e anniversaire du programme MAB. J'adresse ici mes sincères et chaleureux remerciements à l'UNESCO et au secrétariat du MAB, en particulier à notre cher Miguel et à Noéline et leurs équipes pour leur implication constante à nos côtés et pour cette belle initiative qui associe l'ensemble des réseaux régionaux des réserves de biosphère. Le secrétariat du MAB avait déjà également organisé le 4 janvier dernier une réunion d'information dédiée au réseau AfriMAB sur la célébration du 50e anniversaire du programme MAB. Cette rencontre fort enrichissante a constitué une étape décisive d'appropriation de notre réseau à cet important événement. En ma qualité donc de présidente du réseau AfriMAB, je voudrais exprimer l'honneur et la fierté que l'Afrique soit retenue pour accueillir pour la première fois une session du Conseil international du programme MAB, le CIC. En l'occurrence, la 33e session qui est prévue à Abuja, au Nigeria, en juin prochain. C'est toute l'Afrique qui se mobilise pour cet événement, pour le succès de cet événement mémorable, auquel nous invitons l'ensemble de la communauté du MAB. Le réseau AfriMAB est particulièrement mobilisé avec ses 85 réserves de biosphère réparties dans 31 pays d'Afrique subsaharienne et couvrant une superficie totale de plus de 83 millions d'hectares et pour une population de plus de 22 millions d'habitants. Et oui, comme vous le voyez, comme vous le savez, chers collègues, mesdames et messieurs, la première ressource de l'Afrique, c'est sa jeunesse. Avec 60% de la population âgée de moins de 24 ans. De ce fait, la jeunesse est placée au cœur de la célébration du 50e anniversaire du MAB. Plusieurs initiatives sont prévues à cet effet, telles que l'animation, comme l'a dit tout à l'heure notre sœur Néoline, l'animation d'un stand dénommé Village des jeunes du CIC du MAB à Abuja. Il s'agira d'un espace de rencontre, de partage d'expériences et de dialogue intergénérationnel et intercommunautaire avec pour thème clé la gestion durable des réserves de biosphère dans un contexte de lutte contre les effets de la pandémie de la COVID-19. Des expositions de posters, de photographies, de publications scientifiques et techniques, et aussi des dégustations, gastronomiques et des produits de nos réserves de biosphère viendront agrémenter cet espace. Bien entendu, une soirée de gala en musique et traditionnelle clôturera en beauté cet événement exceptionnel. En dehors de la 33e session du MAB, le réseau AfriMAB s'attellera à relayer la page web dédiée à la célébration du 50e anniversaire du MAB dans ses différentes plateformes. 2. À organiser des journées de sensibilisation et d'action sur le programme MAB, en mettant notamment l'accent sur le rôle essentiel des réserves de biosphère dans l'interaction dynamique et harmonieuse entre l'homme et la nature, ainsi que dans la prévention des zoonoses. En effet, les zoonoses sont aujourd'hui une réalité à prendre en compte dans la mesure où 75% des pandémies sont d'origine animale. 2. 5 maladies émergentes apparaissent tous les ans. Et 3. 140 maladies sont en commun avec l'homme et les animaux. L'exemple de l'Ebola et de la COVID-19 nous interpelle. Nous interpelle tous, les jeunes, les moins jeunes, les femmes, les hommes, nous tous. Nous sommes tous amenés à adopter de bonnes pratiques, de bons comportements pour notre propre santé, certes, et aussi pour la santé de nos réserves de biosphère. Le réseau AfriMAB entend également faire de cette année de célébration du 50e anniversaire du MAB le point de départ d'initiatives qui engagent l'avenir des jeunes, de nos enfants et de nos petits-enfants dans les 50 années à venir. Parmi ces initiatives, je peux citer le projet de révision de la charte et des statuts du réseau AfriMAB.
Madame Martine,
ces textes sont déjà très vieux, de 10 ans. Il va falloir donc les rafraîchir et afin qu'ils soient mieux adaptés aux décennies à venir. Je peux également citer le projet de suivi de l'habitat des grands singes dans les réserves de biosphère. Vous savez, ces espèces emblématiques jouent un rôle fondamental dans l'équilibre écologique des forêts tropicales et de nos écosystèmes naturels. et donc dans l'adaptation au changement climatique. Toutes ces initiatives ne peuvent se faire efficacement sans une formation intégrée et un véritable renforcement des capacités. Miguel l'a dit, il a souligné, nous le réitérons davantage. La formation est essentielle. C'est pour ça le projet ERAIFT doit être soutenu et devenir une réalité partout en Afrique. Chers collègues, mesdames et messieurs, pour terminer, je marque la disponibilité à s'unir avec les autres réseaux régionaux pour rendre le programme MAB plus fort, plus performant, plus convivial. Je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Martine, pour vos mots très encourageants du programme MAB en Afrique et surtout du réseau AfriMAB. Thank you very much. I would like to give now the floor to Dr. Manal Fawzi, who will speak on behalf of ArabMAB. Dr. Manal,
Thank you,
please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dear esteemed member of MAB family, good day for you all. We, the ArabMAB network, are pleased to contribute to the 15th MAB anniversary. On this occasion, and within our network, we are mobilizing efforts to reach out to more people in the Arab region, especially youth in and beyond biosphere reserves, to make our network well known, to raise awareness about the role of biosphere reserves in the conservation for sustainable development and human welfare. Also, we encourage countries to establish new biosphere reserves and join our network. In this context, happy to announce that this year, both Saudi Arabia and Libya already submitted the designation files of their first biosphere reserves. Moreover, in partnership with UNESCO Regional Office for Sciences in the Arab States, we are restoring and upgrading the ArabMAB website to give better insight on the Arab biosphere reserves and to reach out to more people in the region and to enhance the exchange of information and experiences. Additionally, we launched 2 initiatives on the International Day for Biological Diversity 2020 for women, girls, and youth, to invite them to reconnect with nature in their biosphere reserves in times and post-COVID-19. We are working on an index toolkit on the effective management of biosphere reserve in the Arab world, which will help us to assess where are we now and how to move forward in strengthening the ArabMAB network. We are also planning to organize a series of webinars, exhibitions of multi-purpose plant species of the Arab region and their traditional uses, competitions for kids and youths. Finally, we aim to honor founders and mentors of the ArabMAB network in different countries. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manal. The Arab network is certainly, like the AfriMAB network, a very active network in the system, and we are really looking forward to have more and really substantial contribution from the network. So now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Roman Yashchenko from the ASPAC network. Roman, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Miguel, to giving me a chance to make a statement of attention for our region, Asia and Pacific. So, dear colleagues, there are 157 biosphere reserves in 24 countries in the Asia and Pacific region. That is home to more than half of the world human population. This region consists of 4 sub-regional MAB networks: the Southeast Asian Biosphere Reserve Network, Pacific MAB network, the South and Central Asian MAB Network, and East Asian Biosphere Reserve Network. All these networks meet regularly to discuss local and national achievements and challenges, as well as provide participation of the regional member states to identify and share with others their national priorities under the Lima Action Plan. During the restriction imposed as a result of the pandemic, many virtual meetings will be organized by sub-regional network in 2021, where ASPAC community meet to discuss joint activity. Such events became a platform to discuss how our regional community will celebrate the 50th anniversary of the MAB program in countries of the region. For example, East Asian Biosphere Reserve Network meeting scheduled in June in Mongolia, as well as SACAM in Maldives. As discussed, the celebration will take place throughout the year, notably through its 4 ASPAC sub-regional networks of biosphere reserves. The plan of activities to be carried out at national MAB committees, UNESCO field offices, networks, and biosphere reserves. Celebration will also have a focus on the engagement of youth in MAB program activity. A key event will be the special MAB 50th anniversary meeting in the Southeast Asia Biosphere Reserve Network, with participation from all 4 sub-regional networks as well as MAB youth. The celebratory gathering is hosted by the Rinajini Lombok Biosphere Reserve in Indonesia, with support from the UNESCO in Jakarta and the Indonesian MAB National Committee in mid this year, with exact dates to be confirmed. In addition, I would like to inform you that some countries in our region have already started celebration of the MAB 50th anniversary. For example, 10 days ago, Kazakhstan and Japan jointly organized training course of MAB theory and practice for young people and students both countries. After that, 5 days ago, Kazakhstan National MAB Committee and Kanazawa University in Japan together organized an online conference titled as Youth Engagement Inside Biosphere Reserves to Achieve UN SDGs. Yesterday, Office UNESCO in Bangkok organized virtual webinar within the project Together for Peace, with keynote speech report, Biosphere Reserves Models for Sustainable Human Living. Thus, ASPAC region has already begun the celebration activity, and I am sure a lot of important events will be organized during this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Roman, for your good report on the ASPAC network. And I admire a lot your background with the snowy mountains. Thank you very much. Right now, I would like to give the floor to the EuroMAP network, Mrs. Leslie Moore. Ms. Leslie, you have the floor, please.
Bon après-midi, Miguel. Welcome from Dublin Bay Biosphere. Díomh agus fáilte ó Biosphere Baile Átha Cliath. In April 2019, Dublin Bay Biosphere welcomed 240 delegates from 30 countries, representing over 100 UNESCO biospheres, more than a third of all biospheres in Europe, America, and Canada. In 2021, the EuroMAB conference was to be in the Biosphere Reserve Salzburger, Lungau, and Kartner-Nockberg, which is in the Carinthia southernmost province of Austria. Preparations were well advanced, a website set up, and venues provisionally booked, and conference themes advanced. Regrettably, however, due to the circumstances, the conferences has to be postponed till 2022. In the meantime, the committee will be looking at celebrating the 50th anniversary by using social media, and in particular the hashtag #ProudToShare, which we used previously and was very popular, but also using webinars. And even more recently, the Dublin Bay Biosphere, in cooperation with the Isle of Man and the Kerry Biosphere, there's 2 biospheres in Ireland, have cooperated on a webinar series which is current and which will be recorded and will be available. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and sorry for wrongly announcing you, Mr. Robert Moore. But yeah, the postponing of the networks, meetings, and all this is all the challenges we face now due to COVID-19. But I hope that this will soon, very soon over, because we are really also missing to meet you, all of you in the field. Bueno, ahora tengo en mi lista el doctor Sergio Guevara, que nos va a hablar de la red Iberomab. Sergio, por favor, tienes la palabra.
Sí. Muchas gracias, Miguel. A nombre de la red Iberomab, que me honro en presidir, quiero celebrar y emocionarme mucho al estar presente en este evento tan significativo de 50 años de celebración del programa MAB. Me parece que estamos en un momento crucial. Las reservas de biosfera de Iberoamérica y del Caribe han trabajado fuertemente durante los últimos 40 años, cuando menos, para entender la distribución de las especies y para entender las condiciones de evolución de la cultura humana. Tenemos actualmente 193 reservas en 27 países que han validado los principios fundamentales de las reservas de biosfera, que aunque parezca repetitivo, me parece que es importantísimo en este momento. La diversidad biológica, el primero es que la diversidad biológica y cultural es inseparable. Están vinculadas por las especies, el medio ambiente y la presión humana. El segundo principio fundamental es que el escenario de la diversidad y el medio ambiente es el paisaje. Esto para las reservas de biosfera es extremadamente importante como unidad de trabajo, pues está determinado este paisaje por los cambios naturales y antrópicos y por la movilidad de las especies. Es un sistema que cambia constantemente y que nos abre las posibilidades de entender la relación entre el hombre y la naturaleza. Por otro lado, el principio de diseño territorial ambiental en un gradiente de diversidad, desde las zonas más conservadas hasta las zonas más utilizadas, es un modelo que es susceptible de extrapolarse a nivel regional. Las reservas de biosfera, desde este punto de vista, no solo podrán vivir hacia el interior, sino podrán extrapolar fuertemente su modelo al exterior. Y por otra parte, son un foro invaluable de participación colectiva para la innovación del bienestar, para la resolución de conflictos y que se plantea el desarrollo. Ahora que la pandemia ha destacado el inminente deterioro ambiental y social ocasionado por el modelo económico dominante, las reservas destacan como una alternativa para generar soluciones innovadoras. Para hacerlo, las reservas de Iberoamérica y el Caribe se proponen, apoyados por sus 4 principios, dar a conocer ampliamente sus posibilidades en su entorno, perspectivas de cambio e innovación de la relación entre la sociedad y el medio ambiente a escala local y regional, en radio, televisión, aprovechando plataformas, webinar, etc. Un punto importantísimo es empoderar a toda la comunidad con énfasis en los grupos vulnerables, mujeres, grupos indígenas y jóvenes, para impulsar a las nuevas generaciones de expertos y técnicos de la biosfera que contribuyan a la adecuación de las reservas para enfrentar los cambios que vienen. El otro punto es incorporar el conocimiento y la experiencia acumuladas por las reservas en 5 décadas, sus planes de acción y de manejo a los planes de gobierno municipal, estatal y nacional en aspectos ambientales, de diversidad cultural y de desarrollo sustentable. En eso hemos organizado una serie de actividades entre las que destacan los webinares, la reunión que se va a hacer de Iberomab en Centroamérica, en Costa Rica, coincidiendo con el Día de las Reservas de Biosfera que ha sido decretado en Costa Rica, y varios webinarios y talleres que estamos por enviar a los sitios que ahora nos han presentado. Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Muchísimas gracias, Sergio. Muchísimas gracias por tu presentación de la región, que siempre muy activa, y ojalá que su reunión en Costa Rica se realizará en presencia. We come to the last but not least speaker here on MAB Youth, as already announced. I would like to give the floor to Alicia May Donnellan, please. Alicia, you have the floor.
Hello, so Alicia here, and I'm really happy to be here with you all today to represent the MAB youth networks in all regions. So as been said several times today, young people, we are just not only the future of biosphere reserves, but we're also the present. And the MAB program knows it and has made efforts to involve us within the program. We've had some great MAB youth forums, and also some MAB youth declarations, which have really shown that young people are key in biosphere reserves. Let's not forget, for example, Jane Goodall herself would have been a MAB youth if her biosphere reserve had been present at the time. So MAB youth, we are skilled, we are knowledgeable, we are active participants in the program. We really have the capacity to help implement the biosphere reserve objectives, and we're in many cases already busy doing that. We're engaged and we're connected. And I think it's important to say that since the MAB youth forums, we have established regional networks in each of the MAB regions, and we are active. We are groups of young people who meet regularly and who organize activities and events. We are the face of the MAB program in many policy processes like the CBD or the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. And we work with organizations like Gibbon for intergenerational equity and transformational education. So we're really committed to represent and highlight the interests and needs of youth and the MAB program. So as part of our commitment to the program, we've been working together with the Secretariat to be actively involved in the planning for the 50th anniversary. We just submitted our funding applications for different activities, and we have these documentaries highlighting youth that we have already seen today. We also have a whole series of competitions planned, photography competitions, maybe even some TikTok dances for those who like to dance. But we're also planning to host seminars. We're planning to host capacity building sessions to equip young people with the skills that they really need to be active members and meaningful members of the program. We're also going to be increasing our internet presence. We're going to have a website soon, and you might have already seen our newsletter that got released a few weeks ago with the new branding of the anniversary. So also, as you know, to cement the MAB youth presence and the anniversary, we have been involved with the Secretariat to develop a process to select these MAB youth spokespersons to represent us during the anniversary, and also to be the face of the program together with Jane Goodall. And so each region had an open call, and they had a process to select the candidates democratically. And really, we are very proud of all the candidates that have come forward. They really show like the diversity and capacity of young people in the program. They work in anything from management to education to research, advocacy. And so now the Bureau is making the final decision, and we'll have the names of the youth spokesperson announced by Jane Goodall herself during the 50th anniversary. And these young people really have a vision for positive sustainability leadership, has been said already in this session by several people. Thank you so much. And we really hope that these youth spokespersons will highlight the vision of the MAG program and how young people are also helping tackle global challenges. So we look forward to working together with you all, and thank you so much for your support.
Thank you so much, Alicia. Thank you so much for your really powerful presentation. And as you rightly said, you are not only the future of the program, you're of course also the present of the program. And we are counting a lot of you, I mean, when I say we, it's all of us, to really be actively engaged and to really be part of this, what we launched today, the mobilization for the MAB anniversary. As we all know, this is not finished. This is work in process, as Noeline said. And we are really on it now. So we have to see now, from now on, where we go further for this year. So this was the end of the part of the presentations. We don't have so much time left, but I would like to open the question and answer session. So there will be two possibilities to do so, either by raising hands and saying that you would like to take the floor, or by using the chat and sending a question to me, to all of us directly by the chat. You can do it in English, French, or Spanish. You can also speak. We have simultaneous translations. So we open the session for questions and answers. So I'll see whether I can reply immediately, or if not, I will then give the floor to colleagues or to those who are the best suited to respond. But thank you, first of all, also thank you very much to all the presenters, networks, the youth representative, but also on the colleagues presenting the work. This is, of course, based on what you have all achieved in the regions and in the sites. So, do we have any questions? Mm-hmm. So you see on the right side, there is this raise hand. Or if not, you can use the chat.
I can't see any hand, Miguel.
I don't see that.
There's one down on the Clayton.
Who? I cannot see any hand.
Yeah, Clayton Lino.
Lino
okay.
raised his hand. Lino Clayton.
Okay, Clayton, please.
Okay.
Clayton, you have the floor. Yeah.
Bueno, solo para pasar mis saludos desde Brasil a Miguel y todo el equipo de la Secretaría por la grande organización, no solo de este aniversario, de este cumpleaños, pero también por todo el trabajo que estos años todos se hicieron para consolidar el programa MAB de una manera espectacular. Tenemos muchas reservas de biosfera por toda parte, el programa que funciona y que inspira. Entonces, solo para aprovechar y también decir que es un placer para Mata Atlántica en Brasil, que este año está haciendo también 30 años, entonces es una celebración doble para nosotros. Y decir que aquí estamos toda la red brasileña de reservas de biosfera muy activa, participando con mucho gusto en esta celebración del MAB. Gracias.
Ya, muchísimas gracias, Clayton. Juntamos los aniversarios. También recibí una nota de Portugal que el Pau de Boquilobo tiene 40 años. O sea, ya estamos con varios. Brasil siempre muy activo. Muchas gracias, Clayton. Any other question? I'm trying to see. I get one message here, everything well explained. Great presentations from Porto Santo. There is Graciela Pin, please, Graciela. Graciela, por favor, tienes la palabra.
Hola, ¿me escuchan? Bueno, en principio estamos atentos a esta reunión, que fue todo muy claro. Tenemos una lista muy larga de actividades para realizarlas y por lo pronto también estamos trabajando con Sudáfrica y Ghana para hacer una actividad entre los 3 países de competición para los jóvenes.
Ok. Muchas gracias, Graciela. Argentina siempre muy activa. Esperamos
¿Nos puedes
su
decir más?
contribución.
¿Nos puedes decir más sobre el concurso?
Sí, estamos
okay.
en preparativos. Estamos en preparativos. Esta actividad en principio está liderada por Sudáfrica y con Ghana y Argentina vamos a acompañar a esta iniciativa. Cada país va a sumar, o sea, entre estos 3 países vamos a sumar a nuestros jóvenes como representantes de cada una de las reservas de biosfera. La actividad va a ser, en principio, lo que estamos pensando, algo artístico, muy representativo de los 3 ejes de las reservas de biosfera, y el premio va a ser dado por cada uno de los países. Cada país tendrá su ganador.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias. I have one question here on the chat. Any criteria to be able to participate in the Proud to Share initiative? The Proud to Share initiative, and maybe my colleague Mariam Boamran may complete, is an initiative that brings together the different actions that can be done in a biosphere reserve. And I think the sort of culminating point is to prepare a video, a 1-minute video. I know it's quite difficult to summarize all the work you've done in 1 minute, but it's an absolutely impressive tool how to bring your documentation, bring in your work in very short terms over. Miriam, you would like maybe to say something on that?
Thank you, Miguel. No, just to say that, yes, we can share with you, and I'm sure it's going to be on our website and on the material that Manuel is going to share, the script, and we have some very good inspiring examples with lots of creativity and different means, from really, using your iPhone to using drones. So everything is possible, and we welcome the creativity, but it's very powerful communication tools, especially to use on the social media. 1 minute, the format is the best to use on social media and to attract people to know more about what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam. Thank you for this explanation. I don't see any other question on the chat. Yeah, I see a question coming from Sweden regarding the exhibit. Is there any chance to show it only in cities, or how about less populated areas? It is, of course, an exhibit with posters. I think, anyway, we will make available the material, and it's for the country or for the participant to print it and to show it. What is the best way to how to reach the most of people? I mean, this is something that is up to you. I would say you saw the diagram from Barcelona. It's on different places. So if you have a large area with let's say, widely spread people, I would advise to use a room or a space where from time to time all these people come together, whether a town hall or a railway station. But maybe my colleague Mary Cardenas or Amandine can elaborate a little bit on that. Amandine?
Yes, as I wrote in the chat, the way the exhibition is designed is that, yes, there are panels, but it's a multimedia exhibition. So on each panel, there will be a QR code, and through an internet connection, and that's why we thought of cities first. Through this QR code, the user will be able to go to a playlist of a specific podcast on the playlist, and where they would have the sound and the story of the Biosphere Reserve. There will be no text by itself on the panel. This is why, so as I said, this is why we thought of cities first. and also because of the linking humans to nature, especially in a place where we do not expect to see nature. But of course, if you think of ideas of how to adapt it in another place other than cities, then do not hesitate to contact us, and we can look together on how we can do this.
Okay, thank you very much. I see also Isabelle Brugnon replied on the chat how to be involved in this Proud to Share. I have the next question: how to get the 50th anniversary branding kit, and are we allowed to use it during the reserves and the Biosphere? The playlist for more information. Of course, you are allowed. Of course, the more visibility you give to it, the better it is. But Manuel may say how you will be able to get this branding kit. Manuel, please.
Hello, everyone. Again, the branding kit, you have to send us an email. Well, first of all, you have to go into our website, have a look at the patronage criteria, and then if your activity or your initiative, it fits to this patronage criteria, you send us an email, and we give you the access to the branding kit with all the materials that we have on the branding kit. You can, if you already have the email, I'm going to put on the chat, so that you can also send questions regarding the anniversary. There you go.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you also for all the nice words that we are getting on chat. You are really lovely. It's so much inspiring to get these reactions from you that are working all over the world on this very exciting project, linking up really nature conservation, sustainable development, and as you heard, the ADG, there is a new alliance for nature. There is many things ongoing in the UN, and we are a very active part of it. Our ADG personally engaged in that when she was in the last meeting in UN in New York. Any other questions before we close the session today? I don't see I see no raising hands, nothing on the chat, because we are running out of time. So anyway, I would like to thank all of you for your very active participation. We had more than 200 participants, for your good work that you are doing, and continue on that. We will constantly inform you over the web of the initiatives. There are several highlights coming up. There will be, of course, one major event that has not been mentioned here. That is at the end of the year, the 41 General Conference of UNESCO. And be sure that we will have a major event during this General Conference to bring not only the attention of this network and all what you're doing to the MAB family, but to all the world. We have all the nations here. We will have certainly some more than 190 education ministers coming and several head of states. So all them, they will be informed. All day they will get a good overview. So please send us all your stories, what you have. You heard from my colleagues the different tools and means that we have now available to share this information. So just to close, on behalf of UNESCO, the Director General, the Assistant Director General for Natural Sciences, and for all the MAB team, and of course, Adeshola, I hope I can also speak on behalf of you, of President, as the Chair of the MAB program. Thank you very much for this contribution. Thank you very much for all your work. Also for the interpreters, as usual, we are running over time. Thank you for being available with us and to supporting us. and all the best, and looking forward to meet with you in all these virtual events that we have, but hopefully soon also in presence. Thank you for all the presenters today, and really stay safe. It's an exciting program because you are part of it, because you do it. And in this spirit, I say up to the next time, and see you soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you, Miguel, and greeting to all of your members of the Secretariat. Thank you.